Tony Rizzo is a buffoon. Yesterday on his show, which is somehow still on the air.
How do you come up with that after you say, I'm going to put this nicely?
I don't know. Well, he doesn't deserve to be treated nicely, does he? We know what he's done. He started rumors that teams are calling the Browns about trade offers.
For Shedeur Sanders.
For Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur Sanders has not even fully taken over the Browns' quarterback job yet, and Cleveland media is already fighting with itself. That is the crazy part. One side keeps saying he has not proven enough. Another side keeps saying he has improved, he has real traits, and he deserves an honest shot. Then you add trade rumors, Deshaun Watson uncertainty, Anthony Lima's pushback, Jason Lloyd's criticism, Mary Kay Cabot's reports, and suddenly Shedeur is not just a quarterback story anymore. He's turning Browns media into complete chaos. That opening tells you everything. This is not normal quarterback debate anymore. This is not just people asking who should start week 1. This is turned into media members calling each other out, challenging each other's motives, and arguing over whether Shedeur is being judged fairly. And the reason it is getting this heated is simple. Shedeur keeps improving enough that the people who wrote him off cannot ignore him anymore.
I'm not saying he's going to be any good. I'm just saying there's more talent there.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I've seen enough and I've heard enough. I don't think he's good enough to start for this team and win anything of substance over the course of the next however many years.
That trade rumor is what poured gasoline on the whole thing. If teams are really calling about Shedeur, that means the league is at least curious. But if the Browns are even listening, fans immediately start asking what Cleveland is doing. Why would a team with no clear franchise quarterback trade the one young quarterback it still needs answers on? That is why the rumors sounded so strange. It created another fight before training camp even started. And this is where Browns media split into different camps. Some people look at Shedeur and say he is still unproven. That is fair. He still has work to do. But other people look at the same situation and say, exactly, that is why you have to play him and find out. The Browns already know what Deshaun Watson has looked like in Cleveland. They already know the contract is a problem. They already know the quarterback room is crowded. So trading Shedeur before truly testing him would feel like another Browns mistake waiting to happen.
Nobody's giving up anything for Shedeur Sanders because he hasn't proven anything in the league.
Correct.
Okay? And he was drafted. If he had been a first-round pick and hadn't proven anything, it was different. He was a later pick. Okay. Number two, if somebody offered a 6th or 7th round pick for him, I wouldn't even make that trade.
No.
Because I'd rather see him play and see if there's a chance he pans out than get a 6th or 7th round pick.
That is the argument that cuts through the noise. If the return is only a late round pick, why even do it? A 6th or 7th rounder does not answer your quarterback problem. A young quarterback with upside at least gives you a chance to learn something. Nobody is saying Shedeur is guaranteed to be the future, but if he has even a small chance to become something, that is more valuable than flipping him for a random day 3 pick. The chaos really started because every positive Shedeur report gets treated like a war. When someone says he's improving, the critics act like people are calling him Patrick Mahomes. But that is not what most fans are saying. They're saying the bar in Cleveland has not exactly been impossible to clear. They want competent quarterback play. They want a quarterback who can complete passes, run the offense, and give the Browns some hope. That is why Shedeur's growth matters.
Here's what I think is happening. I think Shedeur has come on so strong in the last few weeks that it's making them think, maybe we should see what he can do in training camp before we decide that perhaps Deshaun Watson might be QB1 on the depth chart. I think he's just worked so hard and done such a nice job.
Mary Kay's report is important because it gives context. She did not say Shedeur was perfect. She did not crown him the franchise savior. She said he came on strong, got better operating the offense, became more efficient with progressions, improved his footwork, and made the Browns pause before naming a starter. That is the kind of update that should be discussed like football, but in Cleveland media, it instantly becomes a fight over narratives. That is where Jason Lloyd's comments became part of the chaos. He's been one of the more skeptical voices on Shedeur, and that's fine if the criticism has details. The problem fans have is when the criticism sounds the same month after month. If a quarterback is actually improving, the conversation should evolve. You can still say he's not ready. You can still point out flaws, but you should also explain what you are seeing now, not just repeat what you thought before.
Is it a 5th round pick? Right? At that point, this makes no sense for the Browns at all. Why are we just giving him away? He's a guy that you think, the Cleveland Browns, could be your starting quarterback this year. You're just going to trade him for a low draft pick when he's young, when he's developing? Makes no sense. So teams are not going to pay a premium for Shedeur right now.
That is the part that frustrates Shedeur supporters. It is not that criticism is banned. It is that criticism needs evidence. If someone says Shedeur cannot start, then explain why. Is it accuracy? Is it processing? Is it pocket movement? Is it timing? Is it decision-making? Give the audience real football reasons, because when the criticism stays vague, it starts sounding like the conclusion was decided before the evidence came in. And that is why Coach Reason's breakdown hit differently. He did not just say Shedeur is good or bad, he talked football. He explained the progress from college to now. He talked about old habits from poor pass protection, the need to stop drifting backward, the importance of stepping up, transferring weight, checking run plays, and getting to second and third progressions. That is the kind of analysis fans are asking for.
This is why I want to say yes. I do think he got better at certain things as the season went on. I still think he's a project. And if you can find yourself a franchise quarterback, yeah, you're going to do it. Problem is that I don't think you can really find yourself a franchise quarterback. So now I think that you have a situation where, yeah, he's going to end up playing for you in 2026.
That is the difference between hate and evaluation. A real evaluation can still include criticism. Coach Recent still mentioned accuracy. He still said there are things to clean up, but he gave context. He explained what Shedeur is doing better and what still needs work. That is why it landed with fans. It sounded like someone watching the quarterback instead of watching the argument around the quarterback. And once you start talking actual football, Shedeur's case becomes more interesting. He is not just a name, he has shown flashes of anticipation. He can use his eyes, he can move defenders, he can throw into windows before they fully open. Those are not fake quarterback traits. Those are the things coaches look for when they decide whether a young player can grow into the offense.
I want you to look at the safety and I want you to look at Shedeur Sanders' head, right? And I always tell y'all, look at the eyes, look at the eyes, look at the eyes, because the eyes, the head, the helmet, it's a weapon for the quarterback, right? First off, Jerry Jeudy does a really good job getting past his man and crossing his face. He's actually really physical here.
That film breakdown is exactly why this conversation keeps exploding. Because when someone shows a real example of Shedeur reading the defense, holding the safety, and throwing before the route is fully open, the lazy criticism starts looking weak. Again, that does not mean he is perfect. One good clip does not make someone a franchise quarterback, but it proves there is something there worth studying. And that is all fans are asking Browns media to do. Study it, be fair. Criticize what needs to be criticized, but stop acting like there is nothing to see. The biggest reason Shedeur is causing chaos is because he is exposing how divided Browns media already was. Some people want to move on from Watson. Some people still think Watson deserves the first shot. Some people think Shedeur is the best upside play. Some people think the whole room needs to be rebuilt. So every Shedeur practice clip becomes bigger than football. It becomes a referendum on the Browns' future. That is why this story is not slowing down. Shedeur Sanders is not causing chaos because he's talking too much. He's causing chaos because he's improving enough to keep the door open. He's talented enough to make teams curious. He's visible enough to drive every debate. And he's in Cleveland, a city where quarterback drama never stays quiet. So, Browns media can keep fighting. They can keep arguing over Jason Lloyd, Anthony Lima, Tony Rizzo, Mary Kay Cabot, Coach Recent, and every new report that drops. But once training camp begins, the conversation will have to leave the studio and meet the field. That is where Shedeur gets his real answer. Not from a radio host, not from a rumor, not from a trade call. From the reps, from the throws, from the pressure. From whether he can walk into this Browns offense and make it look alive. And if he does that, the chaos in Browns media is only getting started.